And 1, 2, 3, begin, Pam.
Good afternoon, ladies. I'm Elaine Hutton, and I'm the CEO of General Foods, and we're here today to talk about our harassment case and actually just really investigate what's going on with that case. I'd like everyone, if we could just start off here on my right and have everyone introduce themselves.
Yes, my name is Linda Whitman.
I'm Gloria Mason.
I'm Renee. I don't know these last names. Go ahead.
I'm Sarah Johnson.
And I'm Meredith Marks.
And what we'd like to do right now is to have Sarah just give us her interpretation of the case that she's bringing forward to us.
Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate you all coming forward with this group meeting. It's not an easy task for me, and I've fought with this for quite some time. You work with someone and you respect them, you think you know them, and you share certain things with them as a colleague, and sometimes you go out for coffee, you take a simple, maybe an invitation, come on over for dinner. Hey, of course, why not? Let's talk about our campaigns or whatever. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. It's a little difficult, I'm sorry. When these invitations started coming, I of course responded. I don't know a lot of people since I moved here not too long ago, and any type of a friendship is definitely going to be something I'm going to advance towards. And you get over to the house, to her house, Linda's house, and something's not right. You think it's going to be a simple dinner, or, you know, something casual, and you get there and there's all this candlelight and fireplace, and I'm going, okay, maybe we're expecting someone else or something, and I don't understand that I'm clearly the person of interest, and it's just not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't, obviously there's been mixed signals. I don't understand it. I feel that it's really, it come between my workplace and my profession. I cannot seem to now work in a situation where someone has clearly crossed the line and made a pass at me, which is completely unprofessional in my opinion.
May I just ask a question? May I break in? I don't
Sure,
know
go right
if
ahead.
that's your preference, but could you just put some dates and times to where and when this actually happened and how much occurred actually in the office situation before you were invited to?
In the office, well, we've been friendly since I started, you know, as I was with numerous people here. It's naturally a thing you want to do is to establish some type of a rapport with your colleagues. You don't want to have conflict.
And I think what Gloria is talking about is, can you give us a
Well,
a year?
Yeah, when I started here, this was strictly friendly. Maybe 6 months ago, we started maybe going for coffee breaks together. Want to go have lunch? Sure. And then that would just be strictly, you know, step out to the nearest deli and come back in. Very safe, and of course, in an area where there's always people around. So I would not have any reason to suspect that something would be going on. And so within about 2 weeks ago, when this dinner invitation came, I thought, well, that's lovely. Sure, why not? Let's take it outside of the workplace. I would appreciate a friendship, and maybe we can have a dinner, go to a movie occasionally. And when I got to the house and the setting was there and the pass was made, I clearly misread, and I'm very offended, and I don't know how to handle this anymore.
I do think, yes, I do, because what we need to clarify here completely is what occurred in the workplace, because as a professional, I'm representing the company. We need to know if the behavior took place in the workplace, or is this something that simply took place outside of work time? That no longer falls in our jurisdiction.
Well, now that I look back on, now that I've seen, you know, everything come out, things that happened before this so-called seduction scene at the house are now more clear, whereas before we would pass in the hall and it would be like, well, hi hon, how are you? A little touch, a little grab around the waist, and I thought nothing of it. Girls are sometimes friendly. It's normal. You wouldn't, from a man, you know, okay, fine, yeah, maybe I would be a little bit, but this is another female. I'm not used to this type of, maybe I'm a little bit sheltered, I don't know, but there was a lot of touching in passing, you know, when you like say scoot by somebody and she'd go behind me and like, you know, grab here and then squish by instead of just saying, excuse me.
But at that time, that did not interfere
No.
with your work, or it did not?
No, but it was not appropriate. I do realize that now. It was not an appropriate thing. You should not.
In
be.
hindsight.
Yes.
And Sarah, can you tell us, was this always when someone was around? Was it only when the two of you were alone?
Basically when we were alone. I never noticed. If there were other people in the outer cubicle of the office, this was more towards going into the break room. If there were people in the cubicle that might have seen it, I don't know. Possibly, possibly not.
And can you give us more specifics of other situations that might have occurred?
In the workplace?
No, more just touching, very much touching, coming around. She would pass by my desk sometimes and lean over and say, you know, you okay on your screen there, on the computer screen, and clearly her body was touching mine, and I found it very, now.
And up to the invitation for the dinner, this is something that occurred on a daily basis?
Not every day, because some days we were both so busy that we didn't interconnect, or we didn't have a lunch together, or we didn't have a break together. It was not a day-to-day thing, no.
And do you two work in the same open plan office? How near to each other are you? Do you share
We're in the
space?
same, like, cubicle area, but again, there are times when a day can go by when if we're both tied up with accounts, or we're on the phone, or we're on the computer working with sales, yeah, we won't see each other at all, and that's very common. You know, there's gonna be days where we did not have any contact.
After the work hours, before the encounter at her home, did you ever go home and feel uncomfortable about the day with the encounter?
No. My innocence or my naive experience was not registering that.
At that time?
No.
Does anyone else have any other questions for Sarah?
Not at this point. I'm quite anxious
Yes,
to hear
I'd like
this
to
side.
have Linda now give us maybe her interpretation of Sarah's comments.
Yes, well, when Sarah came to the company, she was quite new to the company. I could tell that she was quite nervous in terms of just trying to fit in. I'm a very gregarious person. I am a Latina. I am a very touchy-feely type of person. It is just part of who I am. Lauren has known me for quite a while. She knows that this is the way that I operate. I'm a very warm person. This is the way that I am. I think that it's a shame that when you express yourself and you be who you are, that it can be misconstrued this wrong way. I have done nothing more than to try to extend to somebody that clearly wanted to try to fit in and try to have help in getting friends and knowing people in the company. And I'm sorry that she's misconstrued it this way. Honestly, it really amazes me at the timing of why she's coming up with all of this now. As she spoke about the time, yes, I was there to help her. Yes, I would lean in. If she would talk to other coworkers, she would also realize that I am like that with all people. I'm with that with male and females. I'm like that. That's just a part of who I am. So if she was going to misconstrue it that way, then unfortunately that was her problem.
May I ask a
Sure,
question?
sure.
It wouldn't be appropriate right now. I'm just curious, with other employees that you've worked with and so on, would you have perhaps had them over for dinner also with the same, say, ambiance with the candlelight and all that preparation? I'm
You know,
just
if you know
curious.
anything about what the decor of my house and the way that I entertain, this is just my style.
You know,
This is how I am.
all right, enough.
And so this
Honestly,
is
you know
something
that I
that, no,
don't.
you got
Okay,
to
no,
have
let's-
your
let's-
time, so you need to
Sarah,
let it go.
let's-
I
You need to let
have
it
to
go.
bring this
Sarah,
up. This is
Sarah,
extremely
please,
important.
Sarah, I need to let Linda finish. We've had you talk, and we'll
Right.
have you make
I
your
wasn't
other
gonna bring
comments a
this
little bit
name up,
later.
but there's someone that is gone
Sarah,
from this.
we need you to wait until it's your turn. Thank you. Go ahead, Linda.
So apparently what happened was, by the time I got to the point of actually, this was a mutual desire, this was a mutual agreement between the two of us, when by the time I invited her to dinner. This is where we had been meeting, we've been having lunch, we were getting along fine, but she was starting to have some personal issues and problems that she was dealing with. She was becoming quite emotional, and so I thought to myself, you know, it looks like she could use some support right now. We had garnished this relationship, and I thought, you know, why not? I'll go ahead and invite her. I'll go ahead and take that step. The past that she speaks of was when she broke down because she was having emotional issues, and she came to me and began to cry on my shoulder. Well, what am I going to do? Am I going to stand there and just not do anything? And so by embracing her, and again, this was something that was done in my home. It was something done out of the goodness of my heart, of reaching out to somebody that I felt for, and this is the thanks that I get for it. So again, interesting on the timing. Gloria had approached me recently for a very major campaign, and I knew that she had me in mind to do this.
It figures you'd throw that into it.
And that is interesting, that as she tried to volley for that and do that, and that she clearly wasn't in line with getting that suddenly it became that I made a pass at her and that I didn't.
Would you answer one question? Just, and this is very legitimate. When I came here, I replaced someone, Barbara Gray. Would you mind telling me why she left so quickly, so quietly, and nobody ever heard a word from her?
Okay, I don't think that's something that we
Oh,
need in
I
this.
think it is.
I don't think it
I
is,
think there's
Sarah.
a very
Right now,
strong
what we're
emotional
dealing with
reason.
is your problem with
I
Linda
think
right now. And
this
if
has
we
happened
need to
before.
go there later,
This
maybe we
has
will.
happened
But
before.
right now, we're not gonna bring up another employee.
Look at it.
That
Do
has
you have
nothing
anything
to
else
do
to
with
add?
this.
does.
No, I just, you know, it is.
I think you need
it's
to,
very
I think
disturbing for me
Meredith,
to have
Sarah, I'm gonna
definitely,
have
she's
to
been
ask
here
you,
longer than I
I'm gonna
have.
have to ask you to let Linda complete her
She
statement.
has, oh, she's finished. In
Are
my
you-
world,
do
she
you have
has.
other things?
Well, that
Linda,
would be
to
why
add?
I'm above you in terms of sales.
You're not
Yeah.
above me.
Yeah. You know, it's tough when you gotta kind of pull yourself, but you have to step on other people that feel that you need to do that.
Well, you know,
This
it's
is
the
a lot
Latino
personal
Okay,
thing, you really do
right.
work
discussion.
it.
I think we're kind of going off track.
But I
here.
think
We
Meredith
need
needs
to
to
really
talk about
talk about
Barbara
the
Gray because
situation.
she knew her.
I think
Go
that,
ahead.
now that the name has come up and it's going to come up, just simply in a short way, please let us know in terms of if you know why she left, and therefore we would have more material to delay the decision we make today.
Sure.
and
That's
just
only
more-
if it's relevant to this
and
case. If it's
to
hearsay and you're not
It's
sure that it's
hearsay,
a
I'm sure
fact,
it's hearsay.
we'd rather not have it.
You
Well-
would. First of all, I am here not as a witness, obviously, in Linda's home and so on. So you all know that I work in development, I do not work in sales. But, Sarah has become an acquaintance of mine, and she's confided in me, which is exactly what we're speaking about here. To go back, you know that I've been here about 15 years. Barbara Gray was here, and the only thing that I can say, and again, I was not witness to this one-on-one situation. I just know that, and I am not someone that passes along, hearsay all the time, but Sarah asked me to be present here. What I can tell you, when she came to me and was expressing her feelings and being upset in this regard, and asked me about Barbara Gray. I said, the only thing that I can say in my experience, which now she's been gone quite a while, all I know is that there were some rumors that this type of thing had gone on in that case also. And again, everything was, I'm sure, sealed and confidential, and all of a sudden, boom, her desk was empty, and honestly, I hadn't thought about her until all of this came to my attention.
Thank you for that
So,
piece of information.
That's where I am in that regard. Now, Sarah has shared with me exactly what she shared here with you. And I know that she's been uncomfortable, and again, I reiterate, I'm here only as someone that has befriended her, as apparently Linda did, and I have no firsthand, I didn't witness anything firsthand. I just know that she has shared with me, and not elaborated, but certainly told me that she is uncomfortable now, doesn't know exactly, and this is why we're here, obviously.
Okay, I think it's time for us to at least be able to make a decision here, and more importantly, since another person has come up, from a legal standpoint now, I would feel that we have to research this much more intensely and deeply in order to be able to fully address the impact of this particular situation. We will have to do some intervention in terms of other people who have possibly been involved, so that we can make a clearer decision in terms of what is the outcome of these two.
And I think in addition to that, what we need to do is just maybe have the two of you be separated from whatever current jobs that you're doing where you're dealing with each other on a day-to-day basis, hour-to-hour basis.
Yeah,
So we'll have that taken
no
care of.
problem. I can certainly take care of that and put your projects in totally different, different areas.
And that would be an essential rule, so that we could prove that we have provided them with an opportunity to separate as we proceed further in researching this data.
Now, Sarah, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for coming to us. We appreciate that. And you know that our job here is to make sure that all employees are treated fairly. So we will be very considerate when we take this into chambers to discuss it.
And we will get back to you.
Thank you.
And Linda, do you have anything else you need to add?
Nope.
Okay, thank you very much for coming also.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And thank you very much. This improv was absolutely fabulous. Fuse Freelance model actors, you were amazing. Your work is spectacular. Thank you very much.